Caitlin Clark has made it clear she wants to play basketball and that she wants there to be a WNBA season. Remember when she finally got back on the court for Team USA in December? It felt like forever. But she said this about the CBA negotiations, not losing sight of the importance of them, but making it clear where she wanted it to end up.
I think the most important thing for myself, thinking about these CBA negotiations, this is the biggest moment that we're going to see. And it's not something that can be messed up. And, we're going to fight for everything that we deserve, but at the same time, we need to play basketball. That's what our fans.
The blurry time-stamped clip surfaced on low-key sports boards late last night, and nobody, absolutely nobody, thought it was legit. But there she was, Caitlin Clark, around 2026, completely taking over a closed-door practice run. The kind of unfiltered dominance that shattered every assumption we had about her path forward. This was not a normal workout. It felt like a prediction, a window into a future where she had leveled up again, leaving everyone stunned by her non-stop progression. The speculation started instantly, with people asking how footage like this could even be real.
With the football connection that's about to come, when she said this to Elijah Surratt, the receiver from Indiana, he had the dog named Cece. Both are welcome courtside this year. No hedging there. Very clear. Courtside this year. Not if there's a season, but this year. And let's be real about it. If Caitlin Clark wants to use her voice, they should be listening to her, considering the position everybody's in is in part, not in part, in large part, mostly due as a result, whatever phrasing you want to use, she's got a lot to do with it.
The overwhelming intensity shown in that leaked 2026 video reportedly from the Pacers' practice gym presents a renewed version of Clark wiping away any remaining doubts tied to earlier setbacks. Think back to the lingering worry after her injuries a year earlier, a stretch that felt endless to supporters. This clip makes one thing clear: she did not just come back, she returned sharper, stronger, and more aggressive. It sends a loud message, shutting down critics and proving her legacy was not finished. It was simply transforming into something even more dangerous than expected.
Season, but this year. And let's be real about it. If Caitlin Clark wants to use her voice, they should be listening to her, considering the position everybody's in is in part, not in part, in large part, mostly due as a result, whatever phrasing you want to use, she's got a lot to do with it. Is the single biggest reason for it. To the point where, Caitlin Clark's on a basketball court at all, and it's news, or she does something on social media. She's been very active on social media recently, but this one caught attention just because she was actually in gear and on a basketball floor. The Pacers practice facility, it looked.
This was not some relaxed shoot-around. She was fully equipped, moving with smoothness and force that suggested years of focused, almost obsessive improvement. The way she controlled the floor, even with no crowd around, said everything. It came off as intentional, a quiet pushback against any idea that her best days were gone. Her posture alone felt unstoppable, making the 2026 outlook look frightening for anyone lining up against her. Online reactions exploded over the boldness of what people were seeing.
Mostly due as a result, whatever phrasing you want to use, she's got a lot to do with it. Is the single biggest reason for it. To the point where, Caitlin Clark's on a basketball court at all, and it's news, or she does something on social media. She's been very active on social media recently, but this one caught attention just because she was actually in gear and on a basketball floor. The Pacers practice facility, it looks like here. I don't know exactly when the video was taken, but she put it on her Instagram story today, tagging Rob Dozier, who's the new development coach for the Fever.
The main reason this moment hit so hard traces back to her unbreakable devotion to the game itself. Long before this, Clark openly stated that all she truly wanted was to play basketball, prioritizing a WNBA season above everything. That intense mindset, her insistence on putting the on-court product first, even during difficult CBA talks, always hinted at her drive. This 2026 clip fully validates that deep, almost instinctive urge to compete at the highest level regardless of consequences.
Social media recently, but this one caught attention just because she was actually in gear and on a basketball floor. the Pacers practice facility, it looks like here. I don't know exactly when the video was taken, but she put it on her Instagram story today, tagging Rob Dozier, who's the new development coach for the Fever. Pretty good form on the throw. Touchdown. And the shrug afterwards. I mean, not bad. She's got a reason to post that one. Definitely not bad. And Rob Dozier and her seem to have a nice relationship. He was he worked in the Wizards staff.
Her early remarks about the pivotal CBA discussions where she balanced standing firm with the basic need to just be on the court now carry even more meaning. It was never simply about finances or league politics. It centered on respect for the game. That core belief spoken years earlier became the foundation of her 2026 return. She pushed for what mattered but always in service of basketball, and that mindset clearly powered her remarkable evolution, leaving competitors shaken.
To the channel and get your comments in and all that. It feels like a lot of league activity and buzz is picking up all of a sudden. And I don't know if I'm going to read too much into it, because Caitlin Clark posted this video on a basketball court in basketball gear, but it did make me, scratch my head a little bit like, And regardless, I think it's nice to see any CC activity on the court after all the injuries she had a year ago.
The balance and determination she showed during those initial league conversations revealed leadership well beyond her age. She was not just another player, she was a voice shaping where the league was headed through both action and principle. The leaked video is not only about skill. It proves that when Caitlin Clark speaks, the basketball world pays attention and should. Her impact by 2026 is undeniable, and it stems directly from her willingness to speak up.
Because Caitlin Clark posted this video on a basketball court in basketball gear, but it did make me, scratch my head a little bit like, And regardless, I think it's nice to see any CC activity on the court after all the injuries she had a year ago.
The clip, which she reportedly posted herself years earlier on her Instagram story tagging Rob Dozier, who was the Fever development coach at the time, becomes a critical piece of the puzzle. That simple tag now carries major weight. It points straight to the architect behind her incredible 2026 form, exposing a behind-the-scenes partnership that redirected her career. This was never random. It was a calculated acknowledgement of the coach who helped unlock this frightening new tier.
Regardless, I think it's nice to see any CC activity on the court after all the injuries she had a year ago.
Rob Dozier, who previously worked with the Wizards' G League Pacers affiliate, took on that development role with the Fever, and his link to Clark was clear even then. He was online promoting her Nike ads, clearly a strong supporter. That long-standing connection now looks like the missing ingredient, the developmental bond that shaped what we see in the shocking 2026 practice footage, proving belief and guidance create greatness. The shrug she gave after a ridiculous shot in that early Instagram clip, along with the caption "not bad," was not just typical Clark confidence. Looking back, it was a quiet flex, a subtle preview of what was coming. It was a knowing signal to those paying attention, hinting at levels of dominance still untouched. That calm swagger now defines her 2026 presence, leaving opponents scrambling. The tie to her past injuries might be the most powerful part of this entire leak. The transcript listed all the injuries she suffered a year earlier, a time of real worry across the league. Seeing her years later performing at this unbelievable level suggests a comeback of historic scale. Proof of relentless rehab and unbreakable will. This is not just practice. It is a rejection of physical limits, showing she refused to be labeled by them. Her being on a court, even in a routine session, always drew attention. But this 2026 leak goes further. It exposes an athlete constantly pushing what people thought was possible, reshaping herself into a dominant force. Every movement, every shot reflects evolution, forcing a full rethink of peak performance. Online theories about how she reached this level are everywhere. The early confusion around when the original clip was filmed, along with quiet moments of guessing, only fueled the fire. That uncertainty built anticipation. Now, with the supposed 2026 footage, that intrigue has turned into chaos, forming a story that feels secretive and revolutionary. The timing of the leak feels almost unreal, leaving endless questions. League buzz, even in earlier years, often revolved around Clark. Anything she posted, especially in gear, became news. This 2026 leak taps directly into that fascination, amplifying it massively. Her presence alone pulls attention. And this hidden practice just dragged the entire basketball world into focus, leaving fans craving answers. The football crossover where Indiana receiver Elijah Serrata named his dog CC, and both were welcomed courtside, highlights her massive fame and cross-sport reach. By 2026, that level of icon status is not surprising, it is multiplied. This footage is not only about hoops. It represents a cultural force still breaking ceilings, locking her in as one of the most visible and influential athletes of her era, a true global figure. Not if there is a season, but this year. That old statement about her certainty says everything about her mindset. It was never a question, it was a declaration of commitment to the game and her supporters. That same resolve shows up clearly in the 2026 video. A player who does not ask for attention, but takes it through willpower and elite ability, a force of nature. Her power to create massive attention even from a simple practice clip proves her influence. She is not just part of the league, she drives it. This 2026 leak is not just content. It symbolizes her lasting ability to dominate headlines, reminding everyone she remains the biggest reason behind the league's rise and momentum. Truly iconic. Saying she has a lot to do with it is not hype, it is fact. Her effect on the WNBA comes from both her charisma and once-in-a-generation skill. The 2026 footage reinforces that story, showing someone who never settled and kept pushing excellence, locking in her legacy as a game-changer. This session is more than training. After her injuries, any CC appearance was a relief for fans everywhere. This clip turns that relief into disbelief. It is not just good to see, it is stunning to witness years of effort, resilience, and belief come together. This video stands as proof of her unbreakable spirit, showing she thrives when challenged. The speed at which this leak spread across social platforms, becoming a worldwide topic within hours, confirms her lasting power. Her ability to capture attention deep into her career is unmatched. This is not just an athlete, it is a phenomenon whose every move, even a private run, becomes a spectacle that shifts expectations. This leaked practice, believed to be from 2026, is not just a preview. It is a shockwave, a clear signal that Caitlin Clark has entered a terrifying new phase of dominance. A reminder that after injuries, pressure, and years under the spotlight, she still finds ways to rise higher. The basketball world just saw what is coming, and it looks unstoppable.